Okay, so I'm back for part 3 of my collection of Mojo magazines. Left off in part 2 with issue number 96 from November of 2001. It said Pink Floyd on the cover. And so we pick up, this will be part 3 of course, except is not sure if anyone got through part 1, let alone part 2 and 3, because hope maybe somebody finds this interesting, but I was just bored and wanted something to do. So that was 96. I don't have issue 97, or I do have issue number 97, I'm sorry. Issue 97 from December 2001. Michael Jackson on the cover. So some articles on Black Flag, Paul McCartney and Mick Jagger, and Van Morrison. Just wanted to show you the some good pictures here in the article. Some pictures of the Jackson 5 and Michael Jackson from the younger days there. So, picture him on the tour bus, I guess, way back when. There's a picture of them before they were famous, when they were just trying to get famous, I guess. Good article, as always, in Mojo. There's a picture of them. I don't know, it doesn't say where they're playing, but it's an earlier picture. Love the old, I guess that's an Epiphone guitar they're playing. There's they raided Bobby Z's closet there to borrow some clothes. So that's, yeah, issue 97 with Michael Jackson on the cover. Issue 98 is, this is when George Harrison passed away, and the commemorative issue for George, January of 2002. That came out. Issue 99, that's what the Manic Street Preachers, I guess. That guy just disappeared and never showed up again. So yeah, got articles on Marvin Gaye, the Beatles, Brian Wilson, the White Stripes, and David Bowie in there. Don't know much about the Manic Street Preachers, except they do that song Fairy Tale in New York, the Christmas song with Christy McCall, which is a really good song, which is a big Christmas hit in England, but not so much in America. But it's worth checking out. Kind of a downbeat, sounds a little bit like a Tom Waits song. Issue number 100 from March 2002, and there's just a whole bunch of people on the cover there. You got Keith Richards, Johnny Rotten, Iggy Pop, Paul Weller, there's B.B. King, I guess, and Courtney Love. I don't know why they let her on the cover. Ozzy Osbourne, and I don't know, it's Tom Petty there, the White Stripes, a whole bunch of people. And so yeah, that's their 100th issue anniversary. Issue 101, Elvis. He was popular in the 50s. Captain Beefheart, also, the Buzzcocks article on that. And so yeah, Elvis cover. Issue, excuse me, issue 102, the Stone Roses. They were a band that were really big in England around 89, 90 or so. They're okay, I guess. Vandergraaf Generator, that's a good band. Aretha Franklin's got an article in there. And there's Elvis Costello, Patti Smith. So, yeah. Alright, issue 103, At the Movies. This came with a CD, had some cool movie soundtrack songs. That was a good one. Arthur Lee of Love, he was still alive at this point, which was June of 2002. So anyway, some stuff about rock and roll movies. Frank Sinatra made a lot of movies. Superfly with Curtis Mayfield, of course, did the soundtrack for. The Sex Pistols, Who Killed Bambi, the Monkees, Head, and so forth. So there you go. It's funny when I'm looking through these, because I haven't pulled these out in forever. It's been years, and I remember where I was at this time and buying these issues. And these things, like I said, they were like $8.25 back in July of 2004. So they're pretty pricey even back then. Anyway, so issue 104, David Bowie is on the cover, and yeah, Lovin' Spoonful, Bob Dylan, Yoko, Flaming Lips. Yeah, don't care for them too much. Issue 105, you got Bob Marley on the cover. This is August of 2002. And what do you got? Some stuff about The Who, The Stranglers, 50 Greatest Reggae Albums. Some of that stuff I like. I like soul music more than that. I like funk music, soul music. I love that stuff. Reggae's a pretty good. September 2004, issue 106. This is the White Stripes, and this is when they, I think this was when White Blood Cells, yeah, about the time of that. Might have been, White Blood Cells was what, 201, Elephant was 202, which wasn't a very good album, I didn't think. I liked the White Stripes when they first came around, but I kind of lost interest in them soon after. They're okay. Their first 3 albums and their early singles were okay anyway. October 2002, issue 107, The Rolling Stones. There's Keith Richards from the Between the Buttons cover sessions. So, yeah, 40 years, the world's greatest rock and roll, 40 years, the world's greatest rock and roll band. So now 202, now it's been 50, almost 60 years. And there's a Paul Weller article on there. And yeah, like I say, I remember when I bought these, I actually drove to Chicago in October 2002, and I remember picking this up right before I went up there and reading it on the trip up there. When I was not driving, of course. Sometimes I was driving and I didn't read them. 108, issue 108, November of 2002, The Making of a Hard Day's Night. I think they had just re-released the DVD of A Hard Day's Night for, the 10th time or whatever. Issue 109 is December 2002, Bob Dylan. This one had a really great CD with it, with a lot of old songs from the 60s and 70s. But, yeah. Issue 110, January 2003. I don't know, there's just a bunch of 90s band crap on there. But you got Johnny Cash back there. He's, of course, had a big comeback in the 90s with his albums that he, whoever that guy that produced him, I can't think of his name now. But anyway, yeah, so that's that. Issue 111, Rise and Fall of Santana. So that 112 from March of 2003. Got The Clash. Also got articles on, this is Joe Strummer passed away, unfortunately, at the age of 50, much too young. And so, yeah, you had that. Top 50 punk albums article, article on The Damned, and Roger Waters' article. So, issue 113 is The Grateful Dead and the Jefferson Airplane. It's a good picture on the cover there. Topsy-Turvy World of the Summer of Love. This is April 2003. And so they got a big old article on the Summer of Love. Looks like, I don't know, 10, 12 pages in there on that. Issue 115, Led Zeppelin cover. This is that when they did the concerts in England where they reunited for that, I think, around that time. That is June of 2003. That sounds about right. I wasn't there. Issue 116, REM gets the cover. It's got a James Brown article, though. They should have been covered with James Brown. He's better than REM, even though REM do have a few good songs. Issue 117, August 2003. I don't have a clue. It's some 90s band. Uh, Let me see if I can tell by looking in here. Oh, it's Radiohead. Yeah. Issue 118, September 2003, The Strokes, another 90s band. They were sort of a cut-rate White Stripes, even though they did have one or two good songs on the first album. Maybe they had some on their other albums. I never heard them past that. But you get an article on the Small Faces, so, and Neil Young. There's a Steely Dan article, The Cramps, so good stuff. Issue 119, The White Stripes interviews Iggy Pop, and it's a Detroit music special because both those bands came out of Detroit. Motown, Grand Funk Railroad, Alice Cooper, Smokey Robinson, George Clinton. And Dexy's Return, Dexy's Midnight Riders, great band that people don't pay enough attention to. They're much more than Come On Eileen. Issue 120 is the 10th anniversary issue, and it's got a cool takeoff on Let It Bleed, the Rolling Stones album cover, and Elvis Presley to the Flaming Lips, from John Coltrane to Public Enemy, Joe Strummer, Johnny Cash, David Crosby, Ozzy Osbourne articles in there. Alrighty, 120, this 121, Dylan and the Beatles, from the short time when he actually joined the band and was a member. So, issue 122, Frank Zappa gets the cover. Johnny Rotten article, and the Beatles, Dolly Parton. Right. Issue 123 says Acid on the cover. It's got articles on Pink Floyd and the Doors, Jimi Hendrix Spirit. So, issue 124, Brian Wilson, an article on the Smile album, which had, he released it as a solo thing, and then this is March of 2004, and what was it, about 2010 or so, when the Beach Boys Smile finally came out, such as it is, unfinished and all, but still good. Issue 125 is Norah Jones on the cover. Her music's boring, but she is fun to look at, I'll give her that. Brian Wilson article, and Queen is in there. Issue 126, John Lennon, Revolution in His Head. Take off on the Beatles book called Revolution of the Head, which is about all of their in-depth look at all their songs and how they came to be. Rolling Stones, Fats Domino, David Byrne, The Talking Heads, Festival in the Desert, I don't know what that is. Nirvana, who cares? Let's see, 127, Morrissey, the guy from the Smiths. Kind of doesn't do anything for me, but you got you got a John Lennon article in there. Alrighty, 128. I hate this band, but you got Dylan article, and Brian Wilson, and you got Wattstax, kind of a Stax record music festival back in the early 70s, sort of like the Woodstock thing with all Stax article singers, bands. Cool stuff. There's a movie of that in LA Punk. So, Chili Peppers suck. Let's see, 131, Rolling Stones Rock and Roll Circus special. It finally got released around that time. You got articles on the Clash and Buddy Holly, the Ramones, and Tom Waits shows up in there. 132, Johnny Cash. Is this where he passed away? I don't know. This is November 2004, and I don't remember when he passed away. But you got the Saints and Dylan and the Ramones in the same issue. July 2005, issue 140. Another band I never could stand. U2's on the cover. Foo Fighters, I don't like them either. But you got something about the Kinks in there. And a Cream, article on Cream. And something up there about Hendrix, Led Zeppelin, Janis Joplin, and The Who. Not sure what that was. Haven't read these in years. And for this bunch, the last one is issue 141, August 2005. The White Stripes on the cover. You got an article on Madness, who's better than the White Stripes, and Bo Diddley article. He's cool. So there you go. I still got a few more to go. I'm going to keep on going until I get through them, I guess. Don't know if anyone's watching or cares, but I'm having fun, so yeah.